Going down,
very
Russell
significant.
bounce. Yeah, going down to the 2, Michael 3 for 3, at the other end. Here come the Lakers with more.
Playing defense. That's why Jokic did a great job.
Well, that was a disappointing Lakers season, everybody. I'm Alex. I'm joined by Ricardo Sandoval and Matt Levine. Hey, gentlemen.
What's going on, man?
What's up? We're here to talk about, we write for alllakers.com. Check us out, Sports Illustrated's Fan Nation Lakers site. And we're here to talk about the end of the Lakers season, which just happened. We just witnessed it. LA fell in 5 games to the Denver Nuggets. They probably played their second best game of that playoff series. It was too little too late, but it was a pretty solid game from the Lakers' perspective, except for, a couple of issues that we can get into. But here, Matt, we'll start with you. Biggest reason the Lakers lost?
You mean today or this series in general?
Today.
It's been the same, issue over and over. I mean, today it was free throws. I mean, they missed too many, in close
games. Yeah, but they also
games.
had double the free throws that Denver had.
They did, but still,
Yeah.
think about you add even a couple free points, the Lakers might win that game, right? Like, you don't put yourself in the position to have Jamal Murray
the
hit
free
a
throws.
game winner again. It's like this game is like the whole series culminated into one, right? Like the Lakers were up the majority of the time, back and forth a little bit, right? But you've kind of felt like, that maybe the Lakers will win this. Maybe they can send this back to LA for game 6, and then just Denver steals their heart at the end again, and it's just been kind of what's been going on. And the Lakers now are out, and I don't think it's unfair to say that I think the Lakers were the better team for the majority of this series, but Denver executed more down the stretch in the last minute or two of each game, and that's going to win you, a playoff game. And
That's fair to say.
I feel like the teams are equal in terms of talent, and that's with all the Lakers miscues and without Vanderbilt, and I know Christian Wood just came back a little bit, but I don't think the Lakers are that far from beating a team like Denver. They just have to clean up certain things. And we saw it again, the box out at the end of the game that led to the 3 for Murray. And it's those little effort plays like that just do this team in. And it's done that over the last 2 years, right, against this same Nuggets team. But it really feels like the Lakers let one slip away here again. And I am in full belief if this went back to game 6, we're heading back to Denver for game 7, and then who knows what happens at that point.
Yeah.
Because all the momentum would have been on the Lakers side. Nuggets would have been in their heads like, oh, man, are we really going to blow this? We beat this team 11 straight times, and now we're about to blow this possibly. So it's just a frustrating game, as a fan. I feel like we're being robbed as NBA fans also. I wanted to see this series go farther. I want to see a game 7 in Denver between these two teams. I feel like that would be really fun to watch, even if the Lakers were to, lose. So just small mistakes that execution just wasn't there at the end of the game once again for this team.
Yeah, I would argue that the execution thing is part of the issue, right? This team just isn't quite at the same level. They're just not functioning at that high basketball plane that the Nuggets are to close out late. Yeah, they're sloppy at the beginning of the games, but they can make these clutch shots. They can figure out these easy the pick and rolls and stuff with Murray and Jokic that are so good. Getting Michael Porter all the time with those threes. I don't know. I just feel like their execution is so much better late in games. Anyway, sorry, that's my quick rebuttal. Buddy, do you have a rebuttal to that? And then also, what do you think is the main reason the Lakers lost the series overall, not just the game?
The series overall, they just lost to a better team, a more disciplined team, way more disciplined team. And, they just have better rotational pieces that come up clutch, hit timely shots. They defend really well. You look at a guy like Aaron Gordon. Maybe some people viewed him as a bust. He went, number 4 overall pick with Orlando Magic.
Something like that.
He had he had an okay couple of seasons with Orlando. He gets traded to a really good team. It's a good rotational piece, man. MPJ, he was projected to be the number 1 pick in his class. He was going number 1. He ends up falling to Denver, and fortunate enough for him and the Nuggets, he stays healthy, and he's a he's a key championship type level player. You know, he killed us 5 for 7 from 3. And what he might have, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know for a damn fact, he shot over 45% from 3 in the series.
And he was unguardable in game 3 too. So I mean, like, it goes back to
he
what
couldn't
you were
miss.
saying. Yeah, he couldn't miss, and that goes back to where he was projected before the draft. And then, like you said, he slips. I think they got him at like 25th overall or something like that. It was
like
insane
14.
14. Yeah,
in the
14,
teams,
you're
right?
You're
It was
right.
team, but still, though,
He still shouldn't have fallen that far, but he was injured. So scared teams a little bit. But the fact that he went there and then was able to grow with this team, and now we're seeing what he's actually capable of. It's scary. When he's on, he's on, and he's been on against the Lakers. Like, Lakers don't have anybody to guard him. Literally, no one can guard this man.
48.8%
from 3 on 8.2 attempts in the 5 games.
Yeah, insane.
That killed him
insane,
there,
man. Yeah, man.
Brutal.
He's just a sniper. He's a sniper, and like Matt said, this game alone was just a microcosm of the entire series. Nuggets got that extra possession. They hit those extra shots. You're right, Alex. They tripled. The Lakers tripled their free throw percentage, but they only missed 1 free throw, and they shot 42% from 3. The Lakers shot 28%. Lakers are a way better shooting team than what they've shown. Just better team, better coach. We're gonna get to that, and a more disciplined team overall. I didn't expect the Lakers to win the series, but I did expect 6 or 7. At least that's what I hope for. But yeah, man, Murray did his thing. Jokic did his thing, and it's a young man's league now, man. LeBron's gonna be 40 years old. AD is 31, like you said in the last episode, Alex. Probably tail end of his prime. This is gonna be a big summer, man. Huge summer.
Big summer. Okay, we can just get to that. Unless you guys have final points about the game beyond the bigger picture stuff before we move on to the biggest thing.
It's not like a point, but it did take the Nuggets hitting basically 2 game winners to knock the Lakers out. That's what I'm saying when I went winners. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean when I say, like, I feel like the Lakers outplayed the Nuggets, but the Nuggets just executed a little bit better right when it mattered in that last minute, basically.
They always do that.
I'm saying, like, as a whole, until that last minute, the Lakers were the better team in pretty much every single game, except the middle of the third quarter of Game 3 when the Nuggets just decided to just kind of go off, and the Lakers forgot how to play basketball at that point. They had 3 turnovers in a row, and then 3 threes by the Nuggets. Like, it was brutal. But that's what I'm saying. Like, with all the miscues that the Lakers had, it still took 2 Jamal Murray game winners in Denver. Let's mind you too. It's not like that happened in LA. This was in Denver where they fought them very, very hard. And Denver's not an easy place to play with that altitude. Players have been on record saying that all the time. So, we'll get to it. I don't think the Lakers are that far apart from Denver in terms of talent, at least in my opinion.
All right, well, buddy, you got another point of rebuttal before we move on?
Yeah, just real quick. Last episode I said rebounding is important. Lakers lost the rebounding battle.
Yep.
45 to 41. Every single team that won the rebounding battle won the game.
Interesting. Jokic alone had 20. Gordon had 13.
Yep, and Aaron Gordon, yeah.
Yep.
They're the only ones in double digits. Anthony Davis had 15.
Yeah.
Everyone else had under double digits. Then again, you don't really expect the others to have, but he had 9. But still, as a team, 45 to 41.
Yeah. I mean, they're really big everywhere except for – actually Murray is big for a point guard. He's 6'4". So, yeah, every position they're kind of big. I guess KCP is a little slight, but he's tall for a shooting guard. He plays small forward sometimes too. But he's their starting shooting guard. He's got to be 6'7", right? He's a little skinny, but he's –
Well, he plays up to his size, though. That's the thing. We saw that when he was with the Lakers, too. He would take on, somewhat bigger defenders to bigger players to defend. Right. Yeah, that's the thing. So if he's one of the shorter guys, that's an issue for the opponent.
Yeah. So that's a bit of it. I mean, the Lakers are not small either. Like, D'Lo's 6'4" or whatever.
Right.
Reeves is 6'5".
Reeves is 6'5".
Yeah.
And LeBron and Rui are both kind of they're both like 6'8", 6'9", but they're like bigger. They're not like scrawny.
Right.
But then again, like
Mhm.
MPJ is like 6'10" or something, and then
Yep.
Gordon's like a wall. He's like 6'8", but he's bigger than both LeBron and Rui.
Mhm.
And then Jokic is like a couple inches taller than AD and like several pounds heavier. So,
And the weight, yes.
but yeah. Anyway, okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm more inclined to feel like it's like really about a slight talent gap or major talent gap. I don't know. Another thing that I wanted to mention too, real quick, is that like
Mhm.
in all these first rounds, the the 1 through 3 seeds who all have like 57 wins or whatever it was. So Oklahoma City, Minnesota, and Denver, like 2 of those teams swept, and then Denver won in 5. Like, does the first round always need to go to?
Mhm.
Does it need to be a best of 7 series? Like, do we need to sit through 4 games or 5 games in this case? Like with I don't know. It feels like to me pretty outmatched opponents. Now the Lakers, you could say fine, it was kind of close, but I don't know. It was a little painful. Like also like the Heat Celtics series. I don't know if you guys are watching that at all, but like it is
Yeah.
just so one sided that it's just, do we have to watch 4 Celtics victories? You know, couldn't it just be 3? I missed the best of 5.
No, I get you. I know there is some chatter about that. I did hear a proposal saying it should be 3, 5, 5, and 7,
Oh wow, that's old school.
which I don't really like. I would go to maybe 5, 5, 7, 7, kind of like what baseball does. Baseball now
Yeah.
has that best of 3. Then the divisional series is 5, and then 7, 7. So maybe something like that. Like, because yeah, like you're right, Alex. Usually, first round, there's not really too much to kind of, the gap is still there. Obviously, NBA, best 16 teams make it or whatever. Or now, it depends who wins, comes out of the play-in. But more times than not, they like hardly go to 7, or they're hardly even competitive.
Yeah, there's only
So
two.
at
There's
least,
only 2 this year that are competitive. Like
yeah,
if you were
yeah.
being
So
real at this point,
uh
in one in each conference, every other series is either 3-1 or it's over at this
yeah,
point.
yeah,
It's the
yeah.
4-5
So I
in
think,
both.
yeah,
Yeah, literally.
yeah, yeah. So I think, yeah, probably Adam Silver should maybe revisit that at least for the first round. Maybe push it to 5. 3 is, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I
Yeah,
don't think
5.
that's
Yep.
3. 3, I think like anything like there, that's like a toss up. I feel like in the NBA, but 5, I think that's a little bit better.
Yeah, so you have to win 3 in a best of 5, and I think that's
Yeah,
good. That's
best.
fine.
Yeah, because that's how it was. What, before 2005, right?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Before 2005, it was best of 5 in the first round. That's why the Lakers have that 15-1 record in 2001.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, yeah, not 16-1.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, so now the other issue, Darvin Ham, the fate of Darvin Ham. There's other people whose fates are up in the air this summer, but I think the most immediate and pressing one is Darvin Ham. He had a presser right after the game where he said some stuff that seemed to suggest that he at least is aware his tenure might be over. The Jovan Bua of the Athletic quote that I'm seeing is, "It's been a hell of a 2 years sitting in the seat. I'll tell you that. It's been a hell of a 2 years." So that is apparently what Darvin Ham said in his statement to the press after the game, seeming to suggest that he is aware that he's on the hot seat right now and maybe he's gone after this loss. So, Buddy, we'll start with you this time. How would you feel about Darvin Ham being fired? And do you have anyone in mind for a Darvin Ham replacement? If so,
Yeah. I mean, immediate reaction, I would be, I would be ecstatic. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, if we're gonna start all over in a head coaching sense, it has to be the right person. And right now, just off the top of my head, I can't really find anyone, who would fit or who would be a great leader heading into the 2024-2025 season. Uh, maybe dream scenario is maybe Jay Wright, who coached Villanova to 2 national championships. But I don't know how he would feel about A, coming to the NBA, and B, returning to coaching. So he's 62 years old. I don't know if coaching is really his thing right now. But that's like a dream candidate of mine. Beyond that, you know, talking about more dreams, Ty Lue, if he somehow becomes available, and dare I say, bringing back our old friend Frank Vogel. I don't know how real that would be. I think that's a little bit more of a dream as well. But immediate reaction to potential Darvin Ham was I'll be ecstatic, but you know they can't. They gotta nail this next one if they decide to do that. I think they really gotta go in that dark room, really revisit this. I know fans. We all know how fans feel about Ham, right? But I think they really, really gotta dig deep and see who's really out there, and if Ham, if they really want Ham to go. So, like I said, man, huge, ginormous summer, and that's just on the coaching front.
At first, I'll be pretty happy that Darvin, leaves. Not for him, because it always sucks when somebody, loses their job and
Right.
whatnot. So for him, his sake, I feel for him, but his time with the Lakers needs to end. And quite frankly, I feel like if he comes back, the fan base may riot at this point, because he may go down as one of the more unliked Laker coaches in history. And that's saying a lot when they've had Byron Scott and Luke Walton in the post-Phil Jackson era, and now Darvin Ham's being mentioned as possibly being worse than them, despite taking this team to the playoffs and the conference finals last year. But he has to go, in my opinion. There's no way that he can come back after everything that's gone down this year. Players calling him out without mentioning his name in post-game, right?
Yes.
Just in the couple games ago, and after game 2, Anthony Davis says something, saying how he doesn't believe that the Lakers know what they're doing sometimes on the floor. That's going directly at the coaching staff. And even if it's not directly at Darvin, Darvin's the leader of the coaching staff, so it goes back to him. And you can't come back from that. And you have to back your star players with this. And for a fact Rob Pelinka is going to ask LeBron and AD, do you want Darvin back as a head coach next year? Assuming LeBron comes back. We can get into that another time. And I don't think they're going to say yes at this point. I think they're over him. He's lost the locker room. His motivational speeches really just don't do anything anymore. And it's like, we have a motivational speaker as a head coach, and that's fine. But he just has not learned how to make in-game adjustments. He has not learned when to use timeouts, when not to use timeouts, when to challenge things. And that's fine if you're a coach for a rebuilding team. But this team's trying to win championships, and you can't have that. So assuming he's gone, I actually have 2 different names. And they both depend on who's on the roster, and that means more LeBron, basically. So if LeBron's back, which we all kind of assume he's going to be, all the reports have kind of signaled he's going to be, I like the former Trailblazers coach, Terry Stotts. I think he could get this team going a little bit. He was loved in Portland. Like, Damian Lillard loved him. And we've seen this year, Damian Lillard's not the easiest person to be coaching sometimes, with Adrian Griffin and then now with Doc Rivers. But I think Terry Stotts could help elevate this team's offense, which has been a problem at different times in the last 2 years. They got better in the second half this year, but I think he could just he's a veteran too. He's been around, right? Like, he's been there. He took the Blazers to the conference finals. What was that, 2018, I think?
29.
They got swept by the Warriors.
Yeah.
I know that. But it's like, he's 66. I don't know if he's really going to want to come back. I know he stepped down from being the Bucks assistant earlier in the year. Maybe he comes back for like a 2-year deal, kind of just get LeBron through LeBron's, last couple of years here. Maybe. Another one that's more interesting, and I think it could work if LeBron comes back, it's not a veteran in the NBA, at least, and that's Becky Hammon from the Las Vegas Aces.
Oh, that's
if
fun.
they want to actually try to build long-term success with the team, with the coach, I think Becky Hammon could be perfect for this Laker team, because she has shown she knows her stuff. And she comes from the Greg Popovich tree. Greg Popovich was kind of grooming her to become the next coach of the Spurs. She just didn't really want to wait that long, so she went over to the WNBA, and now has led the Aces to back-to-back titles, first 2 seasons. And I know there's a lot of people out there like, oh, she's a woman, she won't be able to coach in the NBA. I say no. She knows her stuff. The players will respect her. I think that narrative needs to end. She would be perfectly fine. If Greg Popovich vouches for you, you're good in my book. So I think Becky Hammon could be an interesting piece for the Lakers. I think she could try to motivate these guys. She could actually get them, into different situations for success. And she could be a post, LeBron type of coach too, not just right now where you're just trying to win in these next 2 to 3 years potentially. They could build with her. She's 47 years old. That's pretty young for coaches. So she could grow with this team, in the post James, post Davis potentially if she has good success. Maybe she could be the next Greg Popovich of the Lakers for all we know. I'm just saying that's a name that I think needs to be circling the NBA wagons a little more than it has been, just in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, Matt, I'm sold on that. Yeah, honestly, I am. Just when you look at her and her track record, what arguably the greatest head coach of all time in any sport says about her, right? And just what she's doing in the WNBA. Yeah, man. I mean, why not, right?
Give her a chance.
Yeah,
that's
actually really good.
The Lakers are a historic franchise, right? They're arguably the most historic franchise in the NBA. I mean, they are. We all know they are, but those Celtic fans like to claim they are. Why not break that barrier? Why not have your name attached to, being the first team to hire a woman to become the head coach? I think that would be one of the coolest things. Literally, with Jeannie Buss,
especially with Jeannie Buss as your owner. Yes,
I think that would be such an awesome storyline for this Lakers franchise, the team. And it's not like they're just doing it just to do it either, because she is a hell of a basketball coach.
Yeah.
Whether she wants to leave the Aces, that's a whole other story. But I can bet she'll at least take that phone call from the Lakers if they call her.
No, I think if she's a serious candidate and the Lakers are serious about her, she's leaving the Aces faster than you could say her name, Becky Hammon, bro. She's
fiery on the sidelines. I don't know if you guys have ever watched an Aces game. She's screaming and yelling. And that's what the Lakers need. They need someone like that, not just someone who's just going to stand there with his hands in his pockets, just kind of cool, I don't really care what's going on kind of thing. We need that fire because the players draw from that. And I feel I don't know. More, I'm talking myself into Becky Hammon here rather than Terry Stotts. I'm gonna Becky Hammon. Forget I even mentioned Terry Stotts. He can come on as an assistant. So. We're going Becky Hammon, 100%.
I like it. Alex, what do you think, man?
I would say I like that. And so I was like, what about the second best coach in the WNBA? That's Sandy Brondello, who's the New York Liberty coach. She's won before. She won with the Phoenix Mercury with the Brittany Griner Mercury and Diana Taurasi in 2014. And Liberty are really good. Last year they won I think a team record 32 out of 40 games.
They went to the finals, I believe.
Yeah,
they lost to the Aces.
They lost to Becky Hammon in the finals.
They did, yeah. So it's a stacked team. And so I don't know. I love that idea though, Matt, of breaking that barrier, getting a great female head coach. And I think Becky Hammon makes a lot of sense because she's been up for these jobs before, and I don't know about Sandy Brondello, but Sandy Brondello's a proven coach, really good. So that's just another idea. But let's start with Becky Hammon and Sandy Brondello. That sounds fun. No more Terry Stotts. He's recycled. He's been with a bunch of teams. I think he was he's from the Carlisle tree, I believe, right, with the Mavericks.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Now, if they could get Rick Carlisle, I don't know. They're not going to get him, but that would be an interesting move. The Pacers are doing too well to get rid of him. So.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'll go the Becky Hammon train. I've decided. That's next article. I'm going to write that.
Do it.
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty good, man.
All Lakers. Becky Hammon should be the next Lakers head coach. Weirdly enough, I actually, a couple years ago, for a different place I was working for, I wrote Darvin Ham should be the next head coach, and then he became the coach 3 weeks later.
Oh, jeez.
So if I write this and Becky Hammon becomes the coach, maybe there's some magic going on here.
There you go.
Man. Full circle right there for Mr. Matt Levine. That's
literally
insane. Oh, man. Yeah, man, it was tough. It was tough. Outside looking in, Darvin Ham led the Lakers to a 90-74 record. But if you really think about it, guys, these past 2 seasons were very, very underwhelming.
Yes.
Very underwhelming.
Yes.
Majority of the year last year, Lakers were in 13th seed. They had to fight and claw and scratch. Luckily, Rapalinka did his thing. Lakers ended up being the 7th seed, and we all know how that went. This year, you're like, okay, it's a returning cast. These guys should hit the ground running, and that just wasn't the case. They did good up into the in-season tournament. They had that funk maybe between mid-December to early January, and that really messed them up a lot. They had to climb out of that. Luckily, they had a good February, March, landed the 7th seed again, and then, just their fortune wasn't there. So, but coming into this year, I think we all had them at least a top 4 seed, or at least majority of us did, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, very, very underwhelming in the Darvin era. So, people on the outside looking in might say, well, he led you to two playoff appearances. If you really follow this team closely, A, it was not because of him, and B, he did a lot. It was a lot of self-sabotage. Not playing guys, not playing guys enough. His funky rotations, his odd coaching decisions, all of that, man. So that ultimately, if I had to put a blame pie, I'll put maybe like 40 or 50% on that, man. So yeah, just super tough and very, very underwhelming. Very underwhelming.
And it's like you said, people might look at it like, oh, you made the playoffs, you went to the conference finals. That's okay for a team like, I'm not trying to throw them under the bus because they're still in the playoffs, but like the Orlando Magic, right? Like their fans, their organization's happy with getting to a conference final. The Lakers are not. Unless you win the championship, the season's a bust in Lakerland. And the Lakers have not made the NBA Finals since the bubble, and it's been a brutal couple years. And I don't care how successful they've had. And we've had some fun moments along the way, right? Like we have LeBron's, milestones and whatnot, but it's all about championships here, and the Lakers are going to finish once again either tied for the lead in titles in history, or they're going to be down 1 to the Celtics if the Celtics end up winning. And that's in Lakerland. That's unacceptable.
You can't have that.
So,
can't have
that. So this is a huge summer, like you said, and Rob Pelinka needs to get it right. We'll obviously have more episodes where we say what we think they should be doing and whatnot. But this is probably the most crucial summer in the LeBron AD era than ever at this point.
Without a doubt, 100% on that. This is huge. This is a big summer. This is going to tell us a lot on what this could probably be like the next 3 years. This could determine the next 3 years at least. I think this is ginormous. It's huge. I can't stress that enough.
We need the Lakers to pull out their best Dodger impression and go just crazy and somehow. I mean, you can't spend much of the salary cap, but somehow figure something out and just bring in all the stars and just load the team up and dominate. That's what we need.
Okay, well, real quick before we go, we're going to talk about the LeBron decision in a bit. But would you guys want to keep LeBron for the money he wants, $60 million a year? Like, do you think the Lakers could win a title if LeBron's making that much, aged 40 through 42? Or should the Lakers do a sign and trade or something? Make him opt in and flip him? I don't know.
I say keep him.
Keep him?
You have to. You cannot be the team that trades LeBron James. I don't care what happens. You can't. You just can't do it. Because the way I've always viewed it is, the Lakers take care of their star players, right? Like, look at the contract they gave Kobe in the last, 2-3 years of his.
That was a rough contract.
It was, but
that was rough. Yeah.
But players around the league, stars around the league, they see that stuff. You never know who's looking at that, being like, "Oh, they take care of these players. I want to go there." If you disrespect a player, especially a player like LeBron, who is arguably the greatest of all time in many people's eyes, you're not coming back from that yet. Okay. That's a discussion for a different day. But you're not going to come back from that. You need to make sure to take care of your stars. That is one thing that the Buss family and Jeannie has kept that going. You take care of your star players, even if it means you suffer a little bit. And LeBron delivered a title to this team. He's been here. He's been loyal to this team, even with everything going on. And you have to make sure that he's here if he wants to be. You can't just tell him no, or you can't trade him, because forever you will be known as the team who traded LeBron James. Unless he straight up says, I want you to trade me, you do not trade that man. At least that's just my opinion.
Interesting. Buddy, what do you think?
That's fair. That's fair. Man, yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough because, like I said before, I said it earlier in this episode, it's a young man's league. LeBron's going to enter his age 40-year season. Oh, yeah, but I mean, unless he says trade him, trade him. But if there's something out there that makes sense and you rebuild without really rebuilding, AD's still there, you get, some good young pieces, then I say do it. It would hurt. It would hurt, obviously, because, the Lakers take care of their guys. They do. But at the end of the day, we all want the Lakers to succeed. And if there's something out there that could, make them good, even with losing LeBron, then I would consider that. I would. But, right now, I say they sign him back. He opts out. They sign him back for the money he wants. It would suck because that is a lot of money, and I say he only has about 2 or 3 more years in him. At least that's what Rich Paul said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. The fan in me wants to keep him, but at the same time, if there is something out there that Rob can cook up, that and we could get some great pieces in return, then by all means, man, it will hurt, but that's where I'm at with the situation.
My biggest thing is just who's coming in if you get rid of them. That's the only thing, because
that's fair.
All the young stars are in great situations right now. Luka's, we'll see what happens with him, but he's in Dallas. Tatum's with the Celtics. Edwards is with the Timberwolves. Like these are all really good teams. Like who's going to, join the Lakers right now? So you might as well keep LeBron, see what happens. And maybe the NBA is a wild league, right? Like it's a wild card. You never know who's going to ask out. You never know what's going to happen. Right. Anthony Edwards might get tired of being in Minnesota in 2 years after, who knows? Maybe the Timberwolves falter this year in the second round and the next year in the second round. He asks out. Right. So, but for right now, no, they're not leaving their teams. So I feel like you just have to stick with LeBron at this point in a way. It's mutually beneficial. It helps you maintain your status in the city and, the star power and all that. And you get a player who's still pretty damn good despite being, almost 40 years old, which is, I don't know how he does it still. But that's, that just shows his longevity. But I just think it's just, unless you can get someone equal to that, like that type of player, I'm not getting rid of him at this point. But if there is something, cool. Maybe Rob can look into it.
Alex,
I got 2 quick ones. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, I will say this. Just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for Giannis. That thing there in Milwaukee could turn on them real quick.
I was thinking
We've heard reports of him growing weary. This firing Griffin for Doc was like, whoa. That was a surprise.
That was his pick too, Griffin.
Just say yes. Let's just keep an eye out for Giannis. Not saying he's gonna be a Laker, but just in terms of him, maybe wanting out.
Game 2.
Just keep an eye out there.
I was gonna say the Cavs, send LeBron back to Cleveland and get Donovan Mitchell here, and then I don't know. I guess Jared Allen. The money would work out because they're both so much young. Well, because Mitchell's younger than he's on his max is much cheaper. And then Allen's not on a max. Yeah. So you combine them, it's 55, and LeBron's making 51 next year. So that would work if he opted in. But I think that Cavs team is ill-matched. They have 2 point guards and 2 centers, basically. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to play a point guard at the 2 in Mitchell, and they're trying to play a point guard at the 4 in Evan Mobley. Yeah. So, but I don't know if what's the ceiling of a team with Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is kind of a center now too, so I'm not sure about the fit. And Mobley, the Cavs wouldn't give up on Mobley right now, so I don't. Mm-hmm. So it'd be a little interesting, but and then obviously a Booker if Booker wanted out, and you could talk LeBron into a LeBron, Durant, Beal core in Phoenix or something. But the Giannis talk makes you think what about Embiid? But would you do Embiid for AD? Not for LeBron, but for AD?
No.
I don't think I would at this point, right?
No, definitely not. Yeah, I mean, like people talk about AD and his injury history. Embiid is worse, like a lot worse. And just those knees. I don't see those knees playing at least another 3 years. I would be shocked if he plays another 3 years, just the way at his rate, at what he's going. And obviously, honestly, I think overall, when it comes down to it, especially in the postseason, give me Anthony Davis over Joel Embiid.
Yep. I agree with that.
Easily.
Interesting. Word.
But that Giannis thing, man, yeah, that's gonna be something to look at, man.
Giannis for LeBron.
At least some
who says
rumble.
no? Bucks would be down, right? I mean, they won't be as good, but yeah, they would do it. It's LeBron.
Who knows? Yeah, it's LeBron. I don't know.
I'm more looking. We can get into this a different time. I'm more looking at like the Dame piece from the Bucks to team up with LeBron and AD for the last like 2 years of LeBron, because he's not like loyal like he was to Portland or in Milwaukee. And granted, injuries are taking over, but the Bucks are likely going to get bounced in the first round. They weren't the greatest team even when they were all healthy. Like, they were decent, but they weren't great. Maybe there's something goes on this offseason. Maybe Dame asks out. Dame, I don't see Milwaukee sending him to Miami. Maybe he's like, all right, maybe I'll go team up with LeBron for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Could be an interesting thing to watch.
The issue is he's a terrible defender, and he has health issues.
That's why we got AD.
33.
We're fine. We're fine. Like, Lakers will be fine. The Lakers want it. There's talk they're going to get Trae Young. I mean, you can't really get much worse.
Well, I'm not in favor of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad. That would be bad.
Should not do that.
At least like defense is kind of up in the air at that point. Trae Young, Damian Lillard. I mean, you got AD. As long as AD's healthy, they'll be fine.
Just do Murray. You have to give up less to get Murray. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, all right. Well, that was good. Went longer than we meant for it to, but we really had to get into this LeBron of it all a little bit anyway. But yeah, next time we'll talk more about the D'Angelo Russell player option, the LeBron player option, and all the other fun offseason stuff that we have to talk about a little sooner than we wanted to. So thanks for joining us. Check out all our writing on alllakers.com and go Lakers, I guess.
Go Lakers. All right, guys.